Welcome to another edition of Kim's Kitchen. I'm your hostess, Kim Doyle-Willing, and today we're going to be making this great 20-minute entree. It's gorgeous, it's sophisticated, it's elegant, and it tastes delicious. Today we're making steak and cheeses roll-ups with roasted tomatoes, spinach, and shallot sauce. I have this recipe that I was given 30 years ago. I figured it out today. While I was falling asleep last night, I realized this. I've had this recipe in mind the whole contest, that I wanted to do something with cream cheese with it. This recipe was given to me by my godmother, who raised me from age 3 days old to 7 months in Buffalo, New York. I was actually born in Denver in a tuberculosis ward. My mom had tuberculosis and couldn't touch me. So my aunt, I went to visit her with my new fiance, who turned out to be my husband and father of my son. He's since deceased, but she's still alive and kicking and doing great and encouraging me and being a great godmother and aunt. And so, Aunt Elizabeth, this recipe's for you. She made this for us. I hand wrote the whole recipe. I wrote down what she served us that night, everything with this. And I'm doing a little adaptation for Philadelphia, and I hope you, Paula, and everybody out there loves this. It's awesome. So let's go to a close-up. What we're going to do is stuff a 1.5-pound flank steak with a cream cheese and Parmesan and Provolone mixture. You can use mozzarella. I happened to find a great Kraft Provolone cheese at our grocery store that was competitively priced, and I'll go for Kraft every day. I usually use a Kraft Parmesan, but today I'm actually going to use a fresh grated Parmesan. When I make this recipe, I make it with 8 ounces of garlic and herb cream cheese, but during this competition, our local store discontinued carrying garlic and herb cream cheese. So I made up a quick 5-minute herb and garlic cream cheese that I submitted in another video earlier. But you can find it down below in the recipe if you're in the Real Women of Philadelphia website. What I'm going to do is mix in 1/4 cup of grated cheese. I'm just going to stir that into the herbed cream cheese or garlic and herb if you're lucky enough to have it in your store. We've got a 1.5-pound flank steak here. I'm going to take this cream cheese mixture and just spread it out on this flank steak, just like that. But you'll see that I'm leaving about 1 inch on all sides of this because when I made it the other night, it oozed out just a little bit. We've got fresh spinach here also. We're going to lay some provolone on here first, though. We're just laying it around this flank steak and covering this. This is going to be so beautiful. I'm going to just break that in half and put that there so we can just cover that. 4 slices works just perfect. I've washed some fresh spinach leaves. We're going to put down about 2 ounces of this. This was a 9-ounce bag of spinach leaves. You know, you can lay less. You can omit it if you want, but I really liked it for the color. Now what we're going to do is just roll this up, just like that. Got a greased, I bet it's about 11 by 7 by 2 baking dish. What I'm going to do is just tuck that all under there. I've got about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just going to brush that olive oil over. Normally I rub it in, but now with this cheesy mixture, and I don't want to upset that cheese too much. Then I'm just going to break some cracked pepper over it. And I've got some kosher salt in here. I'm going to just take about 1/2 teaspoon, it looks like, and just put kosher salt on it. Now I'm going to put this in the oven for 15 minutes at 450 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and start the shallot sauce. The roast has already been in the oven about 5 minutes while I was setting the camera up over here. It's kind of hard when you're filming yourself all the time. So what we're going to do is go ahead and start. I've got a small, kind of heavy saucepan here that I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of dry red Bordeaux wine, 1 cup of diced shallots here. I'm going to go ahead and just throw in there. And 1 cup equals about 3 shallots this size, if you can see that. I just diced up. It only took 3 minutes. I've been timing everything now that I know I need to do this for recipes for you guys. Now we're going to put in about 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. The original recipe called for red wine vinegar, but I find balsamic so nice and sweet. And I'm going to use balsamic again on the spinach when we get it going. We'll just stir this up and let it just come to a boil. I've got it over a medium heat. I've got some nice fresh tomatoes here I've washed up. I'm going to take 3 of them. I used Roma tomatoes the other night that were just awesome. They were sweet. I love the vine ripened ones. We don't quite have farmers markets yet because we're kind of still in the mountains and in snowstorms, but they'll start soon, hopefully, since it's mid-May. Now, I'm just slicing these tomatoes so they're about this thick, because what we're going to do with them is I'm going to brush them with olive oil and salt and pepper and throw them in this 450-degree oven for 5 minutes to roast. I'll go ahead and finish cutting these up, and I'll be right back to you. I've added the remainder of that package of spinach to this pan with about 1/4 cup of water in there. I'm just going to steam it for 2 or 3 minutes. There, that spinach is already ready. It took 2 minutes. We're going to turn that off and just leave it covered for a second. This is all reduced enough. I'm going to take a break here while I set this up and check this meat, and we'll be right back. Right on cue, the tomatoes are all roasted. I don't know if you can see how brown and roasted they smell, luscious and fresh. I'm going to let them just sit to the side for a minute. Well, there's nothing like screwing up one of your last videos, but I don't have the budget to buy any more meat, so we're going to go with this. So I realized the other night I actually wrapped this with string around the ends, and that's what I should have done today. But I've still got a lovely steak. It's still nice, rare to medium rare. I'll pick this up so you can see. See, we still got a nice pink color going. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and cut this in 4 sections. And we're going to go ahead and plate this up, and we'll just spoon the cheese over it and make the rest of the dish. We're going to split this shallot sauce evenly between the 4 plates. I ran a toothpick right there and connected that meat. And now I'm just going to fill it. And it's great because look at how cheesy. I'm just going to go ahead and stuff that right down in there and on top like that. Now we're going to just go ahead and take some spinach and lay it around in this sauce. And see, both have balsamic in them. So this spinach is great. It adds beautiful greens and colors to it with that purplish tint of that shallot sauce underneath, which is going to be just delicious with that butter and the wine reduction. Now what we're going to do is just take some of our roasted tomatoes and put them right around on this. And the sweetness of those roasted tomatoes will just taste awesome with this. How about that? I think we'll just put 3 on there. And look at that. You've got a beautiful dinner. Doesn't that look scrumptious? Oh, it looks so great with that cheese on there. Oh, I'm going to have a little bite of roasted tomato with that and a little bit of that spinach. Oh, this looks delicious. That cream cheese mixed with the provolone and the Parmesan and the meat and the spinach and the shallots and it's got a little bit of sweet and sour. This tastes great. This contest has changed my life in so many ways that I've actually created community around me. Yesterday I went to the bank and to the grocery store. John, the meat man, had a flank steak all ready for him. I told him I was going to need 1.5 pounds, and it goes real fast, so he saves it for me so I can get it really quick in the morning. And then when I went to the bank, the tellers are all asking me how the contest is going. Am I qualified yet? And then I hear somebody behind me in line go, yeah, I went on and I tried to leave a comment, but they didn't have a place for me to leave a comment. And then there's somebody else in line going, yeah, but I went to YouTube and made a comment. It was just the coolest thing that I've created all this community around me that I didn't have. I was feeling kind of lonely because so many people have been leaving our valley. But there's all these people that have left gift certificates at City Market to pay for food, and my fire department, and just all these things. Neighbors bring over extras of things like the shredded Parmesan cheese and just little bits and pieces, and everybody, it's like they've all invested in this contest too. It's just created so much community, and I'm so grateful. I want to keep encouraging you. Spread your cream cheese, spread your dishes, spread your cheer and your joy and your passions. Share it with others and go help others. And until next time, I'm going to go eat and I'm going to go call my Aunt Liz. And thank you all for joining me. Take care and be sure to get out and get your Philadelphia cream cheese.